Welcome back to Hard West Lords and Ladies for the next chapter in our story. On its side in the salad, separate looked like a beached whale. When Cassandra's team headed inside, they found it filled with dead bodies and its crew of passengers. The air was heavy with the sense of death. Cassandra knew the danger of the decomposing bodies presented. Search the cargo hold. Yeah, I'm not going to risk it. Right. So we need to make money at gambling. High stakes poker table. Actually, poker is dice game, isn't it? Cassandra joked about the pricelessness of this husband company, but promised he would return something of more value. A group of 4 men was at the table, playing poker with a professional-like silence. Cassandra had a feeling they were practice ahead of Lafunti Suri. Cassandra put on a heavy accent and introduced herself as Lydia Morons. Sorry about that, folks. So we'll start from the beginning again. A group of 4 men were sat at the table playing poker with professional-like silence. Cassandra had a feeling they were practicing ahead of the La Fortuna Sore. Cassandra put on a heavy accent and introduced herself as Lydia Morozo. The 4 men were Neon Togosoyul, a weapons manufacturer, Dr. Fabian Fay A.M.D., Silvestri Ailman, a sawmiller, and Pedro Ramios, an oil banker. Cassandra asked to join the men, said she was welcome if she could do something to gamble. Cassandra joked about the presence of his company and promised to return with better stuff. Okay, let's try join a dice game. Standing at the game table, Cassandra felt the weight of the dice in her hand. She rattled the dice and exerted her mind to predict the outcome. Cassandra found it hard to sense that the outcome of the dice roll. There were so many chances for each roll moved in hand, but she got something out of it. She won 110 pesos. That's not great. Okay. She decided to replace the dice with her gimmicked pair. Cassandra gave a discreet nod to Harden, who loudly attracted the players' attention. The players settled at another table. While the players' heads were turned in a pursuit of movement, Cassandra placed the dice in her hand with a loaded pair. She easily won the round, earning 447 pesos. Right, Cassandra joined high stakes poker table. Offered a deed to a silver mine in the American Rockies. Cassandra's contribution was selected with contented murmurs they dealt her in. Cassandra struck up cordial conversations while accidentally showing off her cards. Meanwhile, she keenly observed her adversaries. Cassandra lost what she had bet, but noted several tells from each of the 4 players. This knowledge could well come in handy during the big game. Ooh, okay. I mean, I don't have the money. This is bad. Cantina. We'll rest for a little bit. Right, so there's no more law. No one's after us. Joined a dice game. Dimky set. Rolled the dice. Right. Lost 100 pesos. should be able to do this. I don't want to use the gimmicky pair too much, because that will get everybody's attention. So it's best to lose a little bit. Okay. Just keep rolling those dice. Right. I must admit, I don't like this particular part of the game when it does this. Doing it discreetly. Right. Because I don't want to basically get caught cheating, that would not be fair. Right. One more. Right.
Now that Cassandra had the necessary 25,000 pesos, she was ready to conquer La Fortuna's grand tournament.
Now, first off, is there anything we want? So we can't go to the shop, we can't go to the faith stall, everything is... okay, it's done then, I take it. Cassandra and her companions arrived at the building where the poker soiree was to be held. The imposing building was made entirely out of cast iron and glass, a feat unparalleled in Mexico. We had some time to kill before game started. Cassandra wandered the floor and sized up the other players while she waited for the tournament to begin. The room was filled with players from all the corners of the land, tensed with anticipation of the conflict to come. Finally, the cashier booth opened and players began to fork over the cash necessary for the register. There was still time for Cassandra to mingle with the guests. Cassandra asked her companions to wait and proceeded into the crowd. Soiree was first and foremost a social pageant, where the rich and famous could show off their opulence to their peers and rub their success in the face of their competitors. Where everyone appeared friendly on the surface, the competitive tension in the hall was palpable. Cassandra Cassandra eavesdropped an argument between one of the contestants and a lady. One of Cassandra's competitors let his drink unattended whilst he was sold off to his new pocket watch. Cassandra fought back to the bottle of active she obtained earlier with crude and unfair with most of the unlimited player from the game before it even started. Let's do that. The gentleman turned for his drink, down at a single swallow. His smile lasted a while, but ultimately faded into terrified grimace. He excused himself and rushed away at the sprint. Okay. Cassandra returned to enjoy the evening, taking note of everything. Eavesdropped on the conversation, Cassandra caught a glimpse of a middle-aged gentleman gazing at her with a cryptic smile. She returned the gentleman's gaze and he smiled back. A few minutes later the man approached her, representing himself as Jim Vergen. He commended her on her competitive attitude, alluring to her underhanded activities in the reception room. Seeing her frown, he laughed and asserted he would not expose her. He said Cassandra reminded him of her younger self. He was looking forward to testing his skills against her in the upcoming game. Cassandra thanked him with an expression of genuine camaraderie. Right, Cassandra eavesdropped an argument between one of the contestants and a lady. A corpulent, sweaty man in a tall hat and arguing with his wife. She said he would likely lose her fortune. All the while he assured her that he'd be working on his gambling skills. It seemed to be enraged her further, and she launched into a tally of his various tells, while he denied it all. It seemed Cassandra now knew what to look for. Right, so let's pay this and let's get started. Cassandra just submitted 20,000 pesos when a slender Hispanic man in an impeccable tailcoat and top hat approached her with a grin. Cassandra guessed this was Richard Lufontuna. As if reading her mind, he bowed and placed a gallant kiss on her gloved hand. Lufontuna presented himself and asked for Cassandra's name. She treated him to her Russian alias, Lydia Morozov. Lufontuna bowed low and still and whispered, "Lydia, good luck in the upcoming game." She curtsied before proceeding to the gaming table. He's going to be the devil or something, isn't he? I just get that feeling. The first round, the game had 20 contestants divided among 4 tables. Amongst them there was Jim Vergen. Cassandra realised the table only had 4 players. One must have been missing. She also noted that she had been placed with the corpulent man who she'd been seen arguing with his wife earlier. She was seated and the rules were explained. 2 winners from each table would meet for the second round, which would determine the grand champion of the gala, the owner of a rare piece of jewellery being staked by Mr. Lufontana himself. The tips were disputed, the cards were dealt and the game started. Initially the game was casual and easy. Cassandra singled out 2 candidates for elimination and dutifully defeated them using her acute gambling skills. Only one man was left at the table and she knew his tale as having overheard his argument with his wife. She read him like an open book. Soon he was displaced as well. The corpora congratulated Cassandra, telling her he was transferring her chips to the main table for the final round. The croupier congratulated Cassandra, telling us he would be transferring her chips to the table for the final round. There was now to break between rounds 1 and 2. The tournament was in full swing. The losers' tears was dried by cheerful senoritas and gallons of alcohol, while the winners gloated, prayed and luxuriated in the lobby. Cassandra looked around, sizing up the competition. One of the finalists discreetly retreated to his room. Intrigued, Cassandra followed him. As they left the partner, the atmosphere of the crowd, the gambler accelerated his pace, crossing steel and glass corridors of the palace with unusual haste. Then, when he entered the hotel wing, he disappeared. Cassandra looked helplessly around the halls of the hotel. There were 2 rows of identical doors, one of each wall of the hall. Once he noticed a light sifting from beneath it. As he approached, he saw it had been left slightly ajar. He peered through the opening and to his surprise saw a man inject himself with something from a syringe, morphine. The gambler lay on the bed, oblivious to anything around him. He was in the full rapture of a morphine shot. Cassandra slipped inside his room and gave him another injection of the even stronger dose. Cassandra hesitated, wondering if her lack of experience in ministry of drugs might spell the man's doom. "I've come this far," she thought, emptying the syringe. He certainly didn't protest. Rather, he closed his eyes and fell asleep with a blissful smile on his face. Cassandra left a gentle kiss on his sweating forehead and left the room. Cassandra returned to enjoy the evening, all the while looking around carefully. Once the break was over, Cassandra proceeded to the table. To be honest, we don't have much choice in this. We're being hunted by a madman of Inquisitors, so we sort of have to get going. The players sat down to the final round, the Lufontaine's poker tournament, along with Cassandra. The 3 other people still in the competition. One defaulted when he failed to arrive at the designated hour. The others were Jim Vergen and Dr. Fabian Fay, both of whom she met in Pelblo Casino. Names were exchanged, cards were dealt, and the game began. The stakes in the final game were not higher, and so were the skills of the participants. But as the game progressed, Cassandra's chip supply diminished until she was on the brink of bankruptcy. She did a decisive move to improve the situation. She could target Dr. Fabian Fay, whose status was the smallest, or Jim Vergen, who had been doing extremely well thus far. At this point, his skills seemed unmatched. Knowing his tells from the casino, she decided to attack Dr. Fay. Dr. Fay never fully had his cards. Never fully held his cards. He lifted them slightly off the table and peeked at them. Every so often he would pick his fine moustache, but Cassandra quickly determined this was not a tell. Though the doctor kept his composure throughout the evening, Cassandra knew what she was looking for. He held his breath. He was bluffing. She called his bluff. Before long, the doctor had no more chips left on the table. He stood up, bowed, complimented each of the players and thanked them for the worthy entertainment. Then he strode off into the lobby to relax. To win the final tournament, Cassandra still had one more opponent to defeat. She decided to tackle Jim Vergen next. Jim Vergen was a true master of gambling table. Smart, funny, courteous, he was impenetrable to conventional scrutiny. If Cassandra wanted to defeat him, she would need to use her unique ability. Cassandra took a deep breath, tried something new to smile and see the future at the same time. Ooh boy, letting her instincts judge her cards and her chips, Cassandra managed to outplay and defeat Jim. Again, the look on of her was one of admiration, then laughed out loud and thanked her for an amazing game. Cassandra vanquished her final opponent. She had won the tournament. Yeah, but I just eaten through all of my luck. Damn, that's bad. Richard Lufontaine presented Cassandra with the great prize, a beautiful piece of jewellery that was rumoured to be a lucky charm. Cassandra accepted the prize with grace and humility. Lufontaine told Cassandra she was welcome to visit him in his residence any time. Cassandra promised that she would come, then departed into the crowd. As Cassandra made to leave, Jim Vergen approached her and offered to buy her a glass of port. She thanked him but insisted she must be on her way. Vergen looked crestfallen but said it was understood should Cassandra ever come back to the Ardente Cantina. Well, I'm broke as muffins, so I'm pretty broke now. Yeah, I know, and it trophy. She needs the luck. Who has the worst luck? She really has the worst luck. Okay, she gets that. 9 of hearts. Who's the lowest health in the group? She does, so she gets that. Actually, wait. That one, she gets the increased movement. It's really interesting now. What's her defense like? Ooh, her defense is bad. She needs that. Right. I need to make some more money. I'm broke. Right, with the gimmick. Just make some money. That should be enough for now. Right. We got $3 grand. Is there anything we want from the Fate Trader? Maybe the flintlock pistol. Yeah, let's get the flintlock pistol. I mean, that does a lot. 2 shots. Okay. General store. Nothing worth picking up. Noiseborn. Yeah, not really. Let's go to the cantina. Let's pay a little bit to get her stuff refilled. Cassandra reviewed the latest headlines to search of any mention of her misadventures. The main article was Cassandra's victory in Lofontana's poker tournament. Okay, that's worrying. Right, Cassandra noticed Jim Vergen sitting on one of the booths and decided to join him. Mr. Vergen was visibly delighted. He ordered the drinks as he told Cassandra about his younger years with refreshing bluntness. Vergen had run away from home at a young age and wandered the West, finding no sort of trouble and becoming an infamous gambler and duelist. One fateful day, however, he played against a very powerful man, taking a fortune from him. The man was furious, telling Vergen to leave the country and renounce gambling on pain of death. That's when Vergen himself headed to Mexico. He'd been miserable ever since, but when he heard about the tournament he decided he didn't care anymore. It was worth the risk to play again. What else was life for? Cassandra asked what all that had to do with her. He looked at her wistfully. He told us he saw his younger self in Cassandra. She had inspired him to take his guns off the hook and go looking for trouble again. If there was one person he'd love to ride with, it was her. Wishing to keep the numbers low, Cassandra asked Paco to stay behind and accept Jim as a replacement. Cassandra accepted Vergen's offer to keep her numbers low, so he asked Felicia to stay behind. Paco's good. Felicia, let's go with him. Barton nodded to Cassandra just towards the offering. Right. I mean, she was nice and all, but this guy actually is really, he's really competent. Dang. Okay. So I need to get some healing stuff apparently. Luck's not bad. Direct luck in combat. So obviously he's not. Got some outstanding cards as well. Okay, there we go. I mean, I like him because he's got more health, more aim. Okay. Good, good, good. I might just actually get another healing thing. Wrong place. Browse to wares. Here we go. Healing elixir. So let's get that done. Trade. Oh wait, that's not the one I thought it was. It's the grant healing over time. Ah, okay. Not great. Okay. Good to know. So we can only go back to the house. Interesting. We can go to the hospital. Do anything we need to do there? Left the hospital behind. Okay. Where else can we go? Hacienda Rossetti. I hadn't been up there yet. The Rossetti Hacienda was a luscious residence and beautiful garden surrounding it. The highlight of the hacienda was an amazing collection of firearms. Miss Rossetti said he was willing to part with some of his specimens for the right price. Some extra cash would help him acquire even more interesting objects. We've got an 8-shooter. Not bad. Damage is low, but a lot of ammunition. 12 gauge defender. I mean, that's nice. 6 damage, 4 shots. Or do I do? Or do I want to get just keep with the flintlock, which is 1 shot for 8 damage? Now we'll go with the defender. Pepper pot, the heavy pepper pot. I mean, that has a massive penalty to it. No, we'll just get that for now. Confirm trade. We'll sell that, sell this, that, sell that, and he'll pay us in cash. Okay, give her that, give her that. So that's short range and that's close. Into one of these interesting situations. Okay, so that's everything we need, really. But I'm going to end it here for now, just because if we get into a fight, I can't save in fights. So, I've been Cornish-knight. If you have liked, please press the like button. If you wish to subscribe, please press the subscription button. You can follow me on Twitter, you can follow me on Steam, you can leave a comment in the comment section. And as always, if you want to help me out, please hit the subscription button. With the way that YouTube is these days, it's even more important than ever. I shall see you all next time. Goodbye.